Hello YouTube, this is Kaito JR here, and I'm here to do another Ajin discussion video, this time discussing about Kei Nagai's IBM, or his Black Ghost, whatever you want to call it. So yes, the first thing I want to talk about with Kei Nagai's IBM is that, first of all, its independence. It seems that it's a lot more like self-propelled and just independent in general compared to other IBMs, because we've seen other IBMs listen to their Ajin masters throughout the entire series of Ajin Demi-Human, except for Kei, however. I mean, the reason of this is because, you see, Kei, he first died when he was just a little infant, when he was just like a newborn, when he just came out of his mother's womb, Ritsu Nagai's womb. Of course, that's when Kei Nagai died for the first time because of some... He had like some sort of like disease in him, like it wouldn't allow him to like control his breathing very well. I mean, I guess like this is pretty. I guess this is like maybe like a rare or common disease. I don't know, like of like infants like coming out like prematurely and then like not getting enough air inside their body or whatever. Yeah, something like that. That's how Kei Nagai dies, like the first time when he was just a little like a newborn. Of course, like Kei doesn't remember this, and it's like I said, he was just a newborn. I mean, you start to remember stuff when you're like 5 years old, and then that's it for like the rest of your life. But yeah, see, Kei, yeah, that was like the first time he died, and then he, of course, grew up. He did had an idea that he was an Ajin, but of course he couldn't have told anyone, since this was meant to be a secret that no one should ever know. Because since if someone ever found out that he was an Ajin, he would have been screwed for the most part. So yeah, he had to keep that secret. Let's see, yeah, and also, yeah, his IBM does like stick around for the most part. I mean, like we saw in this flashback with Kei and Eriko burying their dog. Yes, we saw Kei just interacting with his IBM. I mean, at first when he was like a little child, he didn't really understand like what that was like right in front of him. I mean, he thought it was just like a ghost. I mean, he told his little sister Eriko to run away. It's like a ghost or something. I mean, of course, Eriko had no idea what Kei was talking about, and Kei usually doesn't say anything really strange. He's usually like a very logical kid, but at that moment he said something really strange, that it's a ghost. Eriko, run! It's a ghost. They asked him. That's what Kei said, and Eriko was kind of put off by that at the time when she was just like a little girl, even more little than she was currently in the manga and the anime as well. So yes, I mean, that was one thing that Kei just, when Kei interacted with his ghost prior to when he was 17, he was ran over by a truck in like the first episode of the anime in season 1. Yeah, so Kei then, yeah, after Kei got hit by that truck, that's when he started to be aware of his IBM, because he was the fact that like he was aware that he was now in Ajin. His IBM is a lot more like active, because that was like the second time he died. So like when an Ajin dies, like all the invisible black matter inside of their body, of course, like Ajins, they are filled with these black invisible particles that are like, they're just like shrouded inside the bodies, that are the Ajin bodies. So of course, when you die, all this invisible black matter starts to go crazy. It starts to like bounce around a lot inside your body, which is why, because it's trying to regenerate you like back to existence. It's trying to like resurrect you, which I'm trying to say. So yeah, it would do that. Then of course that has an effect on Kei's IBM, since it now became more active. It now wants to be closer to its master. I mean, you saw that in the first and second episode of the anime, how we saw Kei's IBM, well, mostly in the manga, we saw at the end of chapter 1, I believe, where Kaito saved Kei and brought Kei onto his bike, and then they just drove away into like the safe spot where Kaito wanted to bring Kei at. So yeah, that's it. Let's see. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, I mean, that's what Kaito did. Just drove Kei away from the police officer. Kaito just knocked out with one of his fancy kicks. And then we saw the IBM, Kei's IBM. Yeah, that was like the first time we saw an IBM in the entire series. It was Kei's IBM. It was at the end of chapter 1, and then yeah, so that was our first time we saw Kei's IBM. It was a really plain looking IBM. Like, yeah, that's the thing. That's another thing with Kei's IBM that's strange. Like, it looks plain. It like lacks deformity on it. I mean, all the other IBMs after Kei we saw all have deformities. Like with Sato, it looks like a snake, looks like a viper, or something like that. Like, or Izumi's, it kind of looks like, well, yeah, it looks like it has like a pyramid head, like shaped like a pyramid, stuff like that. And Tanaka's, of course, Tanaka has that. Well, it kind of looks like Kei's IBM too, but it has like the sharp teeth and really long claws and stuff like that. So, but Kei, it looks just like a normal human being, but just it's an IBM. It has that, well, not super strength. It just doesn't have like a limiter on its own strength. So, yeah, I mean, IBMs are on par with human beings in terms of strength and endurance, stuff like that. But you see, the thing is that IBMs there are just, yeah, like I said, they're just as strong as human beings. But you see, like I said, they have their limiter removed, and so they can do stuff that, like, human beings can do, like really jump really highly, or like, punch through like a human being with relative ease, stuff like that. Like IBMs can do that, humans can't, because humans have their limiter to limit how strong they can be, their true potential, and IBMs can go all out without them really being any penalty with that. So yeah, because they don't really have a body, they're just like invisible black matter formed into like a human being, I suppose, just like their Ajin master. That's what's going on there with that. I mean, okay, here's another example. Just look at Takashi's IBM. Yeah, Takashi's flying black ghost. It's like an IBM with wings. See, the reason I believe like Takashi's IBM has wings is because of Takashi's wanting of freedom. So you all know how birds represent freedom, and so like Takashi was living inside a prison all this time. He wanted to escape. So does that mean like all of a sudden his IBM just sprouted wings and it could all of a sudden fly? So why didn't Kei sprout something itself? Kei doesn't have anything he wants his IBM to be. So we saw Izumi's IBM. Yeah, because why does Izumi's IBM have like a pyramid-shaped head and stuff like that? Like, I don't understand. We kind of need more information about this, like why IBMs look the way they do, and why does Kei's IBM look really plain, despite the fact that like Kei's IBM is like what was like 3 times denser than the average IBM. I think that means like Kei can just call out his IBM and leave it out for much longer, because it says that like Kei's IBM can be let out for about 30 minutes at a time before it starts to disappear. So that just goes to show that Kei has great like concentration capabilities with his IBM, and that he can keep it out for much longer. And yeah, I think another part of this is because Kei, he did train with his IBM a lot. We saw it while he was training in the forest in like the middle part of season 1, where Kei, he just was like training his IBM out in the forest before Ko then showed up, and then like he wanted Kei's help to help him like take down Sato. Of course, Kei didn't want any part of that, so he trapped Ko inside this truck, and then Kei just continued on just like walking around the forest area and just training his IBM a bit more. And then yeah, that's what he did there with that. So, and then Kei, yeah, he did get a lot stronger with his IBM. Yeah, his IBM got a lot better overall, a lot stronger, sure, why not? And then he was able to control it a lot better. Yeah, and also another thing about this is that Kei can summon up to 5 IBMs a day normally. Yes, so normally he can summon up to 5. That's what he stated to Ikuya Ogura in season 2. However, yeah, season 2, like it was before like, season 2 episode 4, like before that, so it was still canon. After season 2 episode 4, everything is just filler for the most part. It's not part of the manga, so just keep that in mind, everybody. But however, yeah, Kei, he can summon up to 9 IBMs when he's in a good day, I guess, in a good mood or whatever. If he's not in a good mood, I guess he can only summon up to 5 IBMs. But yeah, knowing Kei, he's not usually in a good mood, so yeah, him being in a good mood is kind of like a rare thing. But yeah, when he's in a good mood, when he's having like a good day, nothing like shitty happens to him, he can summon up to 9 IBMs, like just like that. So yeah, that is really interesting stuff right there. But yeah, I pretty much covered everything there is to know about Kei's IBM. That yeah, it's independent, it has like a plain shape. Kei's IBM is 3 times denser than the average like Ajin's IBM. He can summon up to 5, like in a normal, when he's like just normally, but when he's having a good day, he can summon up to 9 instead. Yeah, of course he trains with his IBM like regularly, so he has better control over it. We all know that. And Kei's IBM can last until it disappears for about 30 minutes. So yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know about Kei Nagai's IBM. It's pretty much everything I need to talk about with it. However, if you have anything else you want to say yourself, just comment down in the comment section below. We can have a discussion about this. That's up to you. But yeah, alright, well, that's it for the video, everybody. Thanks for watching, and bye.